Hi, everybody, and good evening to you, and happy Friday. I am Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, and I am a professional tarot reader specializing in connecting you with your own intuition. And before you argue with me, yes, you do have it. I find it to be my specialty to demystify the mystical when anyone comes to me about questions about the tarot or comes to me for a tarot reading. I try my best to take away some of that fear that people have of the tarot and divination in general and bring it back to them and back to their own intuition. Because the way I see intuition and a tarot reading is just my intuition is talking with your intuition, and we're looking at the cards, and the common language is the language of symbology in the tarot cards that we're looking at. That's how I read tarot, and I always involve your intuition in it too, because your intuition and what you're seeing in the cards is also very valid. So, welcome to my weekly show. This is, I believe, the 5th week of me doing this, and I hope you enjoy and love my new background, sparkly, and also my, hold on, righty, lefty, my gorgeous logo is now involved here. So I hope you like it. I did splurge and get myself a real membership to Be Live. So that is courtesy of them. So thank you, Be Live, for making me look like a pro. So tonight's topic is all about how you receive your psychic information. So like I said before, we've already gotten that out of the way, that yes, you do have intuition. Like, don't argue with me. You have it. Everybody has intuition. And I believe the difference between someone that has intuition or someone that is psychic is just practiced intuition. I am a psychic. Why? Because I use my intuition every day, not just in my own personal life, but also to give readings through the tarot. So tonight's topic is close to my heart, and hopefully yours as well. It's all about how you receive your own psychic information. If you think one of your friends would be helped by this free workshop, whether it's this workshop in specific or the series of workshops, please let them know. All right, let's begin. If you happen to have any questions that come up and you are here live, don't worry, you will be able to catch the replay. I promise you, I always provide replays. Feel free to drop them in to the chats, and I will answer them at our Q&A portion, which happens at the end. And if I happen to answer your question before the Q&A session, even better. So I love this topic. I love the topic of how people receive their psychic information, because honestly, no two people receive their psychic impressions or intuition in exactly the same way. And it's one of my interview questions too, when I interview other readers or other psychics or other intuitive professionals or metaphysical professionals. That's one of my questions, is like, okay, well, how do you get your psychic impressions? And I never get the same answer twice. So, and we are going to be using some of these features of Be Live to show you a little video, 2 videos that I did from, I think, oh gosh, I can't remember when I recorded them, but I still mean what I say years later about how I receive my psychic impressions or intuition. And I talk a lot about the clairs. Like, people are familiar with the biggest one, which is clairvoyance. They understand that particular phrase or that particular word, but there are so many more clairs than just clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, by the way, is clear seeing. So if you're a very visual person, you might be clairvoyant. That might be how you receive your information if you're a visual person. So if everyone's still with me, go ahead and give me a shout out. Say yes, say hi, I'm here, say anything. Like the movie. And let me, before I go any further, I want to make sure that this is recording properly and that you can hear me and see me before we go any further. Give me 1 second. Let's see. My connection here is a little bit slow right now, so I don't know if that's causing a lag in the video, and hopefully it's not, but just let me know if it is. So it does say that I'm live, and I'm going ahead and pop in here to make sure that I have. Yep, it sounds good to me, and you guys won't get that feedback loop either because I've got my headphones on tonight, so we're rocking. Oh, Lisa says hi. Hi, Lisa. Hey, take a look at this. I can feature you here. And it seems to be a little bit faster too. Maybe it's because of that I signed up for the real plan. So hi, welcome. Let me go ahead and pull up the agenda, because most of this agenda is honestly going to be about meeting your clairs. So like I was saying before, clairvoyance is one of the best known ones as a phrase, but there are many, many different clairs. So what I'm going to do is go a little bit to my notes, and then I'm going to try and pull up the video that I have that I previously recorded, and let me know if you guys can hear it, because it's good to know, right? So actually, let me go ahead and do that now, because I have an entire list. Let me pull that up. Let me go over the list first, and then I'll pull up the video for you guys to look at, so that you kind of like, the way I like to teach is I give you the list of things, and then I give you real world examples, and then it makes it that much easier to digest the information. So it might feel a little bit weird hearing this dry list of seemingly superpowers, but I'm telling you, you do have intuition, I promise. But then not having a concrete example, I'm going to be the example in this case only because I know how I receive psychic information. So hopefully in seeing what I describe and my little origin story of how I started to receive psychic information, you might be able to then recognize a little bit better when you are receiving your psychic information, even if it's not the same clair that I happen to have. So I have a list of these, and I also have a list. I also have a handout that I can give you as well. So if you want that, please go ahead and say worksheet, and I will send that along to you. Moving on. So, and this is actually an article that I found by Emily Matwiow. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. So clair is a word describing types of clear sensitivity corresponding to our physical and intuitive senses. Clair begins words that name our intuitive abilities. And I'm also going to borrow here a little bit from one of my teachers, Stacy Wolf James. She taught at the Open Center what I like to call Intuition 101. And through that class, she described our psychic senses as know feel, see feel, hear feel. And it really is the best description that I've found to describe psychic information, because it's just like, it's not quite one of your five senses. But it's not quite not that either. It's usually associated with one of your five senses, but it's not the one of the five senses. Like including the sense of smell and the sense of taste, there is a clair that corresponds with that. So we'll get into that in a second. So the following are definitions of the various clair senses. So claircognizance is intuitive knowledge. It's when a person has psychic knowledge without any physical explanation or reason. Claircognizance includes precognition and retrocognition, knowledge of the future and knowledge of the past. There are no restrictions as to what may be known with clear knowledge. So actually, that's one of my clairs. And unfortunately, in the video that I'm going to show you in a little bit, I interchanged claircognizance and clairsentience. They are not the same thing. So again, when I refer to clairsentience in the video that I'm going to show you, I actually mean claircognizance. And with claircognizance, there is just this feeling of certainty that I found. So clairvoyance is the one that most people know of, and that's intuitive vision. So the ability to see objects, actions, or events distant from the present without the use of eyes. So sometimes it has that overlay kind of feeling where you're seeing your surroundings, but then you're seeing something else, almost like a transparency, where like an overhead transparency where something is overlaid in front of like what you're seeing with your actual vision. Clairaudience is intuitive audio or hearing. A lot of the time it sounds like you're hearing something, but it's actually not coming from your actual hearing. It's more coming from a place over here. So it's not, see how that definition that Stacey Wolf James gave gives you a clearer picture of how to describe, because it's not quite hearing, it's clairaudience. Clairsentience is intuitive knowing by feeling. So it's vibration, it's thoughts, emotions. It's more what we call empathy, I would say, is more clairsentience. Clairsalience is intuitive smell. For me, I found that that's more of the rarer form of clair, but it does exist. So that's intuitive smell, fragrance or odor of a substance, person, place, animal, not in one's actual surroundings. So oftentimes people will catch a whiff of someone's perfume and there's no one there to actually emit that odor. So and that also I associate a little bit with mediumship as well, because with mediumship, sometimes you'll get a smell of tobacco or a cigar if the person was a smoker or a cigar smoker in life. And that might be their way of presenting themselves to you that, yes, I'm here. Same thing with perfume or with like rose water or lily of the valley. Sometimes you will smell that from your relative that was known to like dab rose water behind her ears. So that has an association a little bit, in my opinion, with mediumship there. Clairtangency, intuitive knowing by touching. So that's psychometry. So getting someone's watch or a bracelet or a ring and getting impressions from that. Clairtaction is intuitive touch. So that's one of like the rarer or more specific clair. Clairaugustance is intuitive taste. Again, one of the rarer ones. Taste something without actually putting it in your mouth or not on the tongue. Clairempathy is intuitive feeling or emotion. So you can tell here from this list that sometimes there is an overlap in the clairs. And oftentimes people have 2, if not 3 clairs working for them, a combination. Clair eloquence is intuitive communicating. So that it has a tinge of telepathy, but it's more about finding that exact meaning or use of a word. Yeah, I don't know about that one as much, so I'm not going to cover it. Yeah. But this, again, this is an article from Emily Matweow. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. So I'm going to go ahead and try and pull up this video for you that I've done previously. It's in 2 parts. They're relatively quick. But in part 1 of the video, I talk about the full list of clairs, which is basically what I just gave to you right now. And then for part 2, so we can move from part 1 right into part 2 because I give the list first. And then in part 2, I refer to my actual clairs. And again, clairsentience, claircognizance, I use that interchangeably in part 2 of the video that I'm going to show you. That's a brain fart moment from me, and they are not the same thing. Clairsentience is clear feeling. Claircognizance is clear knowing. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. And this is all based on one of my blog posts or vlog posts. So if you want the link to that, please go ahead and say link, and I will provide that to you. So give me a moment here. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull this up. Actually, let me go ahead and see if I can share the screen here. And if you guys are liking this setup, please go ahead and tell me. I'd do it all for you. Upload media. No. Share screen. Oh no. It looks like I have to install something to be able to share the screen. Give me a second here. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can go ahead and do that now. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So it looks like I've installed this. See, this is the problem with not checking your technology before going live, my friends. So I guess I'm not going to be able to share it with you. Let me see if I can actually, Let me see if I can find it on my desktop and upload it. Nope, sorry, folks. I will figure that out for next time, but that's okay. I have my notes anyway. That would have been very cool, though. We can do that next time. Okay. Because I think I pretty much covered part 1 and most of part 2, or what I'm going to get into part 2 of the video right now. So we've already talked about the different kinds of clairs, and I'm going to tell you what my combo is right now, right now. So, and this is the audience participation section. Please let me know what combo you think you are. Okay? Okay. So, my clairs, and I covered it a little bit in going through the list. My clairs are clairaudience, so clear hearing, clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, and claircognizance, which is clear knowing. And again, in the video that I didn't get to play, I do mean claircognizance. Again, if you want that link to that blog post, say link, I will get that right to you. So clairvoyance and clairaudience are really my two main clairs when I'm reading tarot, and also pretty much in my personal life as well. The pretty pictures of the tarot seem to jump out and talk to me. And then claircognizance, aka clear knowing, are those I just know moments. And that happens, those claircognizant moments, those are more of a personal day-to-day life thing. It doesn't happen quite as much when I'm reading tarot for other people. And it also feels like there's like this bolt from the blue kind of feeling with claircognizance. Like, and it's just this feeling, again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but there's this feeling of certainty with claircognizance that I found to be more present than in any of the other clairs. Claircognizance is, I don't know how I know, I just know. So if that resonates with you, give me a hell yeah, give me a yes, give me a, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. And let me know. By the way, good time to take a water break right now. I have two waters. I have a seltzer and I have a water. Hydrate yourself, especially when you're doing metaphysical work, such as igniting with the tarot or working with the tarot, working with any kind of divination system. Hydrate. Drink lots and lots of water. It really helps to move the energy through you and not get cluttered in with you, especially if the message is not for you. Just an aside there. So Lisa says, yes. So let me know, Lisa, if claircognizance seems to be one of the clairs that yours is. And remember, like out of all of that list that I just described, there's so many combinations of clairs that you could have possibly. So I just gave you mine, which is clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance. So now is the time. Let me know what's your combo. And let me see if I can pull up a little list for you, listicle for you. Again, I do have a worksheet that I created when I taught my Tarot Intuitive class, which I will be teaching again for the second time in February. You know, get on my mailing list, or you can go ahead and you can private message me on my Facebook page with your email address, and I can put you on my email list so that I can notify you when we're opening enrollment again for the Tarot Intuitive course. It's usually the last week of January. So the 2020 class, it'll be the second time I'm teaching. I'm so excited. But this worksheet that I created is all about the different kinds of clairs and also a little bit of a checklist for you so that you can check off for yourself, you know, which clair you are. All right, Lisa says she would love the worksheet. All right, Lisa, I'll get that over to you when we're done with the live. Yeah, worksheets. But let me go ahead and pull up a quick screen grab of the worksheet so you can see what I'm talking about here. And give me 1 second, because I have it saved on here somewhere or another. But while I'm looking for that, go ahead and have a little think about what I just said and what your clairs might be. And remember that even if you don't think you have intuitive knowledge, or even if you don't think that you are intuitive, you are. Think about the traits that you have already that might lean you towards a certain clair. Like if you're already visual, maybe you're clairvoyant. If you're already really auditory, maybe you're clairaudience. If you're already very into physical and tangible, love feeling things, love tactile, maybe you would be interested in trying out psychometry. So give a think about those things as I'm looking for this quick screen grab for you of the different list of clairs. I know I have it here somewhere. There you are. Let me remember which module that's in. By the way, this information is straight out of module 2 of my Tarot Intuitive course. So if you're loving these free workshops, please let me know, and please consider joining me in the Tarot Intuitive. I can give you so much more personalized information, and I'm with you the entire step of the way. Like, you can learn tarot from anyone on the internet. You can Google it and figure things out for yourself, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. So wouldn't it be just easier to take the Tarot Intuitive with me and get clear information from someone that's been working as a professional tarot reader since 2005? Yeah, you probably want that. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and download this so I can pull it up. And view single page. And let me take a quick screen grabby. All right. Let's see here. I need to add. Okay. Like, I swear I will figure out that share screen portion to be able to show you a little bit of videos. All right. Actually, let me. No, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. Let's see if I can remove the overlay here. It's pretty, but it's getting in the way. Okay. All right, there we go. So there's the list on screen with me. And let me see if I can. No. There we go. Okay, so I need to ask you guys, what is your combo? I would love to hear what your combo is. Lisa, if you're still with us, I'm going to put you on blast right now, and you better share your combination, because I think claircognizance is one of yours, since you were so enthusiastically saying, yes, that feeling of certainty, yes, that's clear knowing. So again, claircognizance, I don't know how I know. I just know that feeling of certainty. Clairvoyance is intuitive vision. Clairaudience is intuitive audio or hearing. Clairsentience is intuitive knowing by feeling. Clairempathy is intuitive feeling of emotion. Clairsalience is intuitive smell. Clairtangency is intuitive knowing by touching, aka psychometry. Ooh, nearly knocked that over. So, what's your combo? Let me know. And while I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what your combo is, I really want to pull up this little story about how I first realized that I was psychic or intuitive. And again, this shouldn't be a feeling of, oh my God, she's so lucky, or oh, she's so gifted. Like, yeah, kind of, but also we all are blessed with intuition from the very day we are born. This is my belief. Not everyone holds that belief, but I believe that we are all intuitive. And I also believe that as we get older, we talk ourselves out of it. We talk ourselves out of the things that we knew when we were children, or the things, or that sensing that we were kids. We talk ourselves out of it as adults. And then if we're interested in the metaphysical fields, the spirituality fields, tarot, divination, we spend almost our entire adult lives trying to get back to that state to be able to be more intuitive again. So Lisa is saying that she is a cog-sal combo. Ooh, I like the sound of that. So you're saying that would be claircognizance and clairsalience. So that's intuitive smell. Am I getting that right, Lisa? Let me know. Let me see here. I have to pull up my website. Might as well do it over here because I've got all of my stuff out right now. I've got my mic, I've got my computer here, and I have my iPad here looking at my notes. So Lisa says, yep, she is claircognizant and she's also clairsalient. So she has clear knowing and clear intuitive smell as well, which is actually one of the rarer clairs, Lisa. So very interesting. So, and I would love for you to share what that's like, because I don't really have clairsalience. So is that sense of someone's perfume or smoke or smell of flowers? Let me know. I'm very interested in other people's clairs. I'm a little bit bossy, and I get a little bit personal with other people's clairs because it's just fascinating to me, even though I have it too, but everyone has it. And I just love to hear about the different combinations. So that's a combination that I actually haven't heard of yet. So that's really cool. All right, let me pull up my little story of when I first started to like reconnect back with my intuition after my teenage years. Because I was always like, I'm sure there were stories about me picking up the phone, and this was before caller ID or anything. This is when I had the landline or that pink rotary phone, like, you know, the and the young folks are probably not aware of what I'm talking about. Let's see. But I'm sure there's stories like that, but I don't really remember them. But I do remember when I started to get back in touch with my intuition after my teenage years. I guess, well, certainly when I was around 16 when I first discovered tarot. And I actually find it really interesting that there's nothing about dreams on this list of clairs, but that was one of the ways that I realized that our intuition talks to us, maybe in different ways. Maybe you are more visual in your dreams, or you see visual things in your dreams. But for me, I think the reason why our intuition talks to us more in our dreams is because we're unguarded in our dreams. When we're awake, we're on guard. You know, we need to be safe. But when we're asleep, you know, we're more open. So that's when the intuitive messages can come through if they've been trying to come through when we've been awake and we haven't been paying attention. So Lisa says, sometimes, and I'm going to pull this up on here, you might not be able to see all of it. Sometimes when I visit my great aunt, I can smell the pipe that my uncle used to smoke. Yeah, very, very, very common that there's that link between clear salience and that intuitive smell with mediumship. So yeah, like, don't be afraid of that. That's a gift. So she can smell the pipe that my uncle used to smoke. The man has been gone for more than 15 years. It's like he's just letting me know he's checking in on her every now and again. That's beautiful, Lisa. I love that. Because most of the time, and I know it doesn't sound very ooh or impressive, but most of the time when I get messages from spirit, it's like across the board, it's I'm okay. Let them know that I'm okay, and then I have to kind of like pull a little bit more, like, okay, but you don't want to say it, but it's like, okay, but can you prove it to you? It's like you don't want to argue with spirit, but at the same time, you're just like, can you give me a little bit more other than I'm okay? But that's interesting that you've got that smell associated with your uncle. Darn it, where is this blog post? Have I mentioned that I'm pretty darn prolific when I talk about when I write? I've got a lot of blog posts, a lot. So, aha, here it is. So the blog post in question is called Different Avenues of Intuition. So if you want that blog post, say blog post, and I'll send it to you. So the different avenues of intuition, for me, it was more dreams. And again, what I said before about premonitions on or psychic information on a conscious level, or if I wasn't ready for it, if you're not ready for it, you might be getting it more in dreams because you're more open in your dream state. But for me, when I was younger, I would get really, really hyper realistic dreams. And then they would come true a couple of weeks later. And so I remember, like, there was one of them that was let me pull this down again. So if you guys want the worksheet, go ahead and say worksheet. I will send that to you. Let me take it down so you can see my face again. And I'm going to put that right back up. Okay. So the really bloody, the more bloody and hyper realistic and gruesome the dream was, the more that I would remember it, and the more that I would remember it in a few weeks when it ended up happening. However, the events that I would end up seeing ended up not being as tragic or as bloody as I dreamed them. And I realized it was because my intuition was trying to get my attention. So it was making it more hyper realistic, more graphic, just to get me to pay attention and remember. So, like, for example, here, like, fortunately, my dream, okay, so I remember dreaming about a roller coaster derailing and killing everyone on board. And this was particularly not a great dream for me because I love roller coasters. So I'm just like, so I started to get a fear of roller coasters around that because of that specific dream. So fortunately, my dream would blow things spectacularly out of proportion so that the reality was much less extreme than the dream. And then 2 weeks after that dream, people were trapped on a roller coaster for hours, long enough so that it was reported on the national news. So I'm very happy that my dream was hyper realistic or, completely out of proportion, because of course I wouldn't want that to happen. But um, it made me realize that my intuition was trying to speak to me through my dreams. And the more I started to listen and acknowledge, the dreams got a little bit quieter and more subdued in their message, because they knew now, okay, now she's paying attention. So from all of that, I started to record my dreams. And I would really recommend that you record your dreams if you are experiencing dreams that are repeating, or dreams that are hyper realistic, like I just described, because it might be your intuition trying to work with you in the daytime hours and not just at night. So I started a dream journal, and that led me towards researching ESP, psychic phenomenon, and I would just read book after book at the library on paranormal subjects, which I think is really interesting, because paranormal and supernatural, it ends up being very natural. Like, most people I know have a story associated with their intuition, or a mother's intuition, or a mother's instinct where, you know, the child had a bad dream and they knew, and they were away on a business trip. Like, there's no way that they could have known that, unless, of course, someone phoned them. But they knew without any outside or physical knowledge. It was intuitive knowledge. And I hear about these stories time and time again from most people that I interact with. So this is the reason why I say everyone has intuition. Like, I really have never come across someone that has not had an intuitive experience. However, the way people label their intuitive experiences, sometimes they label it as coincidence. Sometimes they label it as serendipity, but it's all intuition. Like, for example, my husband, who's sitting over that way on the couch in the living room, he likes to say that he's not intuitive. However, he has the best sense of environment and when something's about to happen, and he leaves that environment half an hour before something goes down. That's intuition. He doesn't like to say it is, but it is. Hopefully you can hear me right now. He's not going to speak back because he knows I'm going live, but my husband is very intuitive. He's also an excellent judge of character. He reads people really well. That is intuition as well. So, so in that time period of me researching, is when I started reading tarot. When my tarot deck my first deck was given to me, or I gave my mother the birthday present of the tarot deck, and she ended up giving it back to me. That became my first tarot deck, the Tarot Nova. So in that time frame, I also started to hear people's thoughts as clear as day, as if they were thinking loudly. And sadly, again, mentioning my husband, he's very familiar with that phenomenon, for better or for worse. I would often answer questions asked that was never asked out loud, or turn my head and ask people to repeat something only to find out they never spoke anything verbally. So again, that's clairaudience. So clairaudience can be a form of telepathy. Sometimes it's not, but for me, that kind of thing happens through my hear feeling, as Stacey Wolf James said, of clairaudience. So sometimes it really does sound to me like someone is actually speaking. That's when it's really loud. And that's when I pay attention as well. And now I've trained myself to not do that, to not pick up on other people's stuff, only because it's kind of invasive, and I would like people to be able to express themselves the way they would like to express themselves, instead of just like picking it up out of their brains. But my biggest point here is that there are different ways, and there are many ways to access your intuition. Mine started through dreams. And it still happens through dreams, through clairaudience, through claircognizance, through clairvoyance as well. And my main point in doing this free workshop is to acquaint you with the different avenues of intuition that are at your disposal. Hey, if tarot doesn't work for you, and that tarot to me is very much like a clairvoyant kind of thing. Like, yes, you do have those physical pieces of paper of the tarot, but again, if you're a visual person, that clairvoyance can start to happen even by looking at a tarot card. You might start to see that tarot card move or interact with you in your visual sphere, and that's clairvoyance. That's the connection there. But if tarot doesn't work for you, it might be because there is a different clair that you should be working with that would give you more information or would be more naturally suited for you than tarot would be. So just think about that. Find what works for you. Find the avenue of intuition that works for you, and then use it. Listen to your intuition. It's there to help you. Okay. So I think I'm all out of my notes. I hope this really, really helped you. And it is time for a Q&A. If you have any questions that I didn't already cover in this free workshop, please go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and say your question, ask your question, and I will get right to you. So sometimes I will open up discussion after question and answers to free reading. So if you do have a question that you want to ask the tarot, now is also the time. So, and if nobody has a question for the tarot, I will go ahead and I will pull one card as a weekend forecast, as I did last week, because I feel like we can't walk away from this session together without at least pulling one tarot card, because I am Tarot by Hilary, must have my tarot card. Oh, and before I get to the questions, because I see that Lisa is asking a question, today's card of the day that I pull. So card of the day, I recommend a card of the day practice if you're trying to learn tarot. I think it's an excellent way to connect with your tarot deck and also connect with your intuition as well. If tarot is the tool for your intuition that works best for you, pull a card every day. The more you practice it, the more it will work for you. So today's tarot card of the day was the High Priestess, and the keyword for the High Priestess on the Enchanted Love Tarot, which I'm using for the deck of the month, the keyword was intuition, baby. Isn't that just so perfect? Actually, let me pull that up if I can. And I will get right to Lisa's question in a second. Let me see if I can pull it up from my Instagram, because I do tarot card of the day and I put it on social media everywhere, every single day. Oh my God, I love this card. I'm going to quickly screenshot that, and I'm going to tell you what my interpretation was for today. Because remember, today's not over yet. We're still rocking that energy of the High Priestess today, which I absolutely love. So let me go ahead and use the media, add media. So actually, this segues pretty nicely into Lisa's question. So there's the High Priestess. Let me take down let me hide that. from the agenda so you can see the High Priestess. She's gorgeous. Oh, let me see if I can, oh no. So I don't want to show my face right now. How do I do that? I wanted to put the High Priestess card front and center. There we go. That's better. So let me go ahead and give you that interpretation of the High Priestess card, right? High Priestess, intuition, from the companion book. When you feel inspired, you will be inspiring, one of the most attractive qualities possible. And please keep in mind that this is the Enchanted Love Tarot. So most of the card pulls have been of the romantic variety all month because it is a tarot deck that's specifically about love questions. So what a fantastically great card to get for tonight's Facebook Live on understanding how your intuition talks to you, right? Right. Your intuition is powerful today, and you better listen up. Everyone has intuition, but the more you use it, the more it will become easier to attune to it and benefit from it. Just like any muscle, it grows and becomes stronger with use. Knowing how your intuition speaks to you will allow you to identify it for what it is. Listening to it instead of listening to your fear will cause you to make more empowered and wiser choices for yourself. So isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So Lisa is asking, do you do exercises to warm up your clairs? Now let me pull that down. Yes. And that is one of my exercises, is pulling a tarot card every single day. Actually, and in that spirit or in that vein of warm-up exercises, let me go grab a book and show it to you. And that has awesome visualization techniques. And it's more for magical practices than really for intuition. But I kind of like it for both, because the more you're able to visualize, especially if you're clairvoyant, the more you strengthen your intuition or your ability to see things with your intuitive vision. So hold on one second. Let me grab that book. Okay, I'm back, folks. So let me put this book on top of my iPad. So the book I would recommend that has a lot of great warm-ups is called The Unspell Book by Maya Ohm. And there are so many great visualization exercises in this. And this is more, so the subtitle of it is Energy Essentials for Mastering Magic, but I really do enjoy it for the visualization techniques that she gives in it, because a lot of this is mostly about energetic work instead of like the physical components of a spell. And again, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, especially using tarot for spell work, you better get yourself to St. Louis. November 2nd and 3rd, I will be teaching there at Pathways. As part of the Card Slingers Conference. I will be teaching tarot, using tarot for spell work. And so we do talk a little bit about that. We talk about intention, which is the most powerful part of any spell. Because once you start getting good at spell work, all you need is the intention. But this book kind of talks about that because it's more about the intention and getting yourself right with the energy. Rather than using, you know, mugwort or herbs or, you know, different physical vehicles for a spell. So, like, the first chapter in this is all about the foundation. I believe it's the foundation, and chapter 2, adding energy, has like all of the visualization techniques that you would need. Yeah, basics of visualization, in the prologue. Oh, sorry, no, it's in the prologue. Excuse me. So there's basic visualization, visualization from memory, introduction to creative visualization. So all of that is in the prologue. And it's really helpful, I think. So that would be a suggestion of a book to pick up. Again, I'm a very bookish person. I actually just sent out a newsletter to my subscribers about all of the books that I'm reading right now. So I love books. Exercises. So any other exercises that I can think of right now? Meditation. Honestly, meditation is a great warm-up because it allows you to get still. And when you get still, that's when the messages can come through. So I know people don't like to hear that because they're just like, meditation's so hard. It doesn't have to be, because I believe that people have psyched themselves out of meditation because they're just like, I can't be Bruce Lee. I can't quiet my mind and have like, I just keep on getting thoughts like all the time. I'm bad at it. And it's just like, listen, you're going to keep getting thoughts. Like, but what you do with those thoughts, you don't follow those thoughts. You just go back to the breath, or you go back to a focus point like a candle, or if you have a mala, like I happen to have malas actually, again, exercises to warm up. I do have like, I call it containers. So when I'm about to do a tarot reading, I put on my my psychic mala that was made for me from Jen Cintron. I believe the name of her business is Jericho Rose Tarot. And she made me this beautiful, I commissioned her to make me 2 malas, one a peace mala and the other is a psychic mala. When I'm about to sit down and do a tarot reading or do any kind of psychic work, I put on the psychic mala to signal the universe I'm ready to work. And then I take it off when I'm done. So to me, there needs to be like physical things or routines that you do to signify I'm ready to work, or I'm ready to hear, or this is my space to do my clair warm up. So even just putting it out there with saying, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and I'm going to sit down with this candle and I'm going to sit here for 10 minutes and warm up, maybe do a meditation. That would be my suggestion for some exercises. Like, pick up this book. It's a really good book. Meditate. There are many free meditations out there. What I like to do is the free meditation experience that Deepak Chopra and Oprah have done before. I know they're not doing, I don't think they're doing one right now, but they have a lot of different samples. If you just Google Chopra meditations or Oprah 21-day meditation experience, I believe is the name of it. And then they have different ones for different themes. Or you can just look up an app like Calm, I believe. Calm has an app where there's different meditations for sleep, meditations, morning meditations. It doesn't have to be such a bear, such a chore. And don't go and sit down for 10 minutes and try and meditate for 10 minutes. If you don't do it regularly, or if you've never meditated before, you're going to psych yourself out. You're not going to be able to sit there for 10 minutes. So allow yourself a minute, and then allow yourself 5 minutes, then allow yourself 10 minutes. And honestly, I don't meditate for more than 10 minutes a day, if that. Like, I'm not sitting for a half an hour and meditating, you know, like that's just not what I'm doing. 10 minutes is more than enough for you. So your practice can be whatever it needs to be for you in that moment. So I hope that helps, Lisa. If you want more information about meditation, say meditation. I'll get that information to you. And the same for all of you too. If you're watching this replay at another time, go ahead and do the same thing. I will get that information to you because I am here for you and your intuitive practice. I hope that helps. And when I was getting up to get this book, I should have gone and gotten my cards because I don't have my cards with me. Believe it or not, I wanted to be on time tonight. So I forgot to put my cards next to me. So if we don't have any takers for one question, one card readings, I guess I'm just going to have to do a weekend forecast for you guys. So it's time. It's time for the weekend forecast. Let me go grab my deck. All right, you still with me, folks? Oh, all right. Oh, Alicia has a question. All right, let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. It's okay. Let me go back. Let me go back. So we're still here. Let me go back to my info. Let me go back to my agenda. Sorry about that. So Alicia asks, how do we participate? I have a question. All right, Alicia, go ahead and ask your question. So did you have a question for the tarot, or did you have a question about clairs and psychic information? Aha. Okay, question for the tarot. Thank you. So Alicia asks, I would like to know if I should follow this new business adventure that has presented itself. All right. Well, I have grabbed my deck. The closest deck that I have is the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. So I'm shuffling, and we are asking about Alicia's question, if she should follow this new business adventure. Now, Alicia, keep in mind, Katie's here too and wants to ask a question. Yes, right after Alicia. I gotcha. I gotcha. So before I pull this card, Alicia, please keep in mind our free workshop tonight was all about psychic information. I believe that everyone has intuition. So if you're seeing something else in this card, please go ahead and add on to your interpretation of the card onto my interpretation of the card for you. Okay? Okay. So, oh, wow. All right. Yeah, you're really good. This is a really, really wonderful card to get. You got the 10 of Pentacles. My friend, what is this new business adventure? Because it could be very, very lucrative for you. Very, very lucrative. 10 of Pentacles is about networking. It's about commerce. It's about conferences. The traditional Rider-Waite-Smith symbology of the Ten of Pentacles is like a bustling marketplace. This one has a man and his dog and grapes, and it just feels very abundant. And that is what the Ten of Pentacles is. It's the last card in the Pentacles suit, which is all about finances, career, money, groundedness, practicality. So this, I think you got to follow it. And I think it's going to be very lucrative for you and also very grounding for you as well. You just have to, you just have to see where this is going to go. And if that's something that resonates with you, go ahead and say yes. Please add on if you're seeing something else in the card that I am not. But damn, this is a good card to get about business. You got a business card for a business question. So that gives more emphasis and more of like a hell yes to what you're asking about. So Alicia, I hope that helps you. Let me know if it did. She's got a thank you. I'm seeing a thumbs up here, so I'm going to say that's a good sign. Katie's asking, may I ask a question too? Yes, you may. Tell me how I can help you tonight. Oh my goodness. So while we're waiting on Katie's question, Alicia says, interesting. I just left a conference today about an hour ago. And yes, it does. I love the tarot. I love it. Okay. Katie, we're waiting on your question. And Lisa, if you're still here, please let me know if you would like me to pull a card for you. I love that. I love that. I love it. Okay, let me shuffle up. All right, here comes Katie's question. She has a tarot question, yes. She says, I'm on an extended work break due to health. I'm wondering why it keeps being extended. Okay. And always with my caveat with health questions, work questions, I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. I am just a tarot card reader. Y'all know. So I pulled the Ten of Pentacles again. So I don't know if that's just residual from Alicia's question. So I pulled another card, and that's the Tower card reversed. Now, remember everything that I said previously about like that groundedness, that practicality. And then the Tower card reversed is not as dire as the Tower card upright. Like, it's almost as if like the worst has already happened and that's already passed, but there's still something that needs to be resolved, where it's just like, it's not as bad as it was, but there's still like, I just see relapse when I see this card, you know, where it's just like the symptom might have been addressed, but the underlying causes have not. So Katie, I hope that makes sense. I know it's probably a very frustrating situation for you, but you got to keep taking care of yourself and do a little bit more research as well and be your own advocate, because I feel like the symptoms, yes, were addressed, but the underlying stuff, there's something else going on that needs to be addressed to be healed. And Katie, let me know if that resonates for you. So Lisa says, no question for me, but so looking forward to that weekend forecast. All right. So yeah, I am going to do the weekend forecast because I did say I would. So let's switch back over to the weekend forecast. I'm gonna, yeah, and so Katie says, relapse, yes, makes super sense. Good, great. Just take care of yourself. Just take care of yourself. Be your own advocate. All right. We're coming up into the weekend forecast. And this is going to be true for you whether or not this is your weekend. So if you're working this weekend, this applies to you. If you're not working this weekend, this applies to you. I mean, I'm actually off tomorrow, but Sunday I am booked for 3 back-to-back readings, hour-long readings. They're some of my regular clients, and they get together for a girls' weekend annually, and they have me over, and I read everyone's cards, and I assign homework too. So I need to think about like spiritual homework, like I teach them about different topics and different divination stuff. So they look forward to that too. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys if you're watching it right now. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys. So, all right, weekend forecast coming up. What do we need to know about this weekend? And actually, I'm going to pull 3 cards for this weekend. Ooh, that's good. And that's interesting. And that's not. Maybe I shouldn't have pulled 3 cards. Okay. So I'm going to hold all of these up, and I'll talk about each one at a time. So let me put this down so I can see. All right. So the first card that came up, so we've got, I'll show you all of them first. And this is the order that they came up in. This one, then the middle, then the end. So we've got the 9 of Cups, which is a yay card. The 2 of Swords, which is about choices and decision making. And then we've got, it looks like it's the 5 of Cups, which is like not so nice. So those are the 3 cards for the weekend forecast, and I will tell you what each of them means. So 9 of Cups is really awesome. It's a little wishes come true card. It's a little version, a minor arcana version of the major arcana star card. You have a lot of choices, a lot of accolades as well, a little bit of luck, especially how this particular 9 of Cups is depicted. There's a lot of confidence there and a lot of, it almost looks like a trophy room. So remember though, when you're celebrating, to not rest on your laurels too much, not like get so obsessed in the celebration that you kind of like stop the momentum. So enjoy the situation, but keep going. So actually, this makes a lot of sense because I'm going to a fun event tomorrow, but I should probably bring my business cards, you know? Always be networking, right? Okay. So 9 of Cups. 2 of Swords is about balance. It is ruled by the element of air, which is all about communication, but also conflict. And some choices need to be made without knowing all the information. Sometimes this card can indicate that it's a choice between 2 very similar paths, but there's always that, again, intuitive knowledge that might help you fill in the gaps for the information that you don't know about. The crescent moon usually figures prominently in this card, no matter what its depiction is. And that to me is a sign of using your intuition to guide your decision-making when you feel like you don't have enough information to make a decision. And also remember that decisions, they're not final most of the time. If you choose wrong, you can usually go back and course correct. So just keep that in mind as you're making decisions this weekend. And then the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is about crying over spilled milk, or in this case, spilled glasses of wine. It usually is about playing that what if game of the past. What would have happened had the past been different? And allowing yourself to grieve, yes, but not staying there in that. Not if you can help it, at the very least. The Five of Cups can be a very difficult card to get in a reading, but it's usually a reminder that you can't stay stuck in the past because it's already happened. You need to keep moving forward and be present, because from the present, you can then change the future and have a brighter future. So don't look too much toward the past, and don't get so caught up in nostalgia that you don't appreciate the present moment or what you already have to be grateful for in the present moment. So there you go. That's your weekend forecast. Hope it helps. Let me know if it helps you. And as always, so this is did I say it's the 5th week? I think it's the 4th or the 5th week. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th week of me doing live. So, as always, we go live, and by we, I mean me and you. We go live Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please join me next week. I don't know what the topic's going to be for next week yet, but if you have suggestions for that topic, please go ahead and let me know. Say so, and I will definitely cover it. Again, if you would like the worksheet for What is Your Clair, go ahead and say worksheet, and I will get that to you. And if you would like that blog post about psychic information and the vlogs that I talked about earlier, please go ahead and say link, and I will get that link to you. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please show up live so that I can answer your questions the very moment that you ask them. And again, my name is Hilary. My website is tarotbyhilary.com, and that is Hilary with one L. If you put in 2 L's, you will not find me. And I am a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical for you and providing you clarity with the tarot. And Katie says, worksheet, please. Link, please. I will get those to you right away. Lisa and Katie, I got you covered. And if you would like a reading with me one-on-one, you can go ahead and go to my website, tarotbyhilary.com, and book one. I am most happy to serve you. And I have people all over the world seeking readings. So whatever time zone you're in, I've got phone readings, I've got Skype readings, I've got email readings, and in-person readings as well. If you happen to be local to the Westchester County, New York area, or the tri-state area, within reason, we can definitely book that. So please keep that in mind, because there's only so much that one card can do, you know? I mean, it can do a lot, but if you want to sit down and talk tarot with me, that is where to find me. Anna says hi, I say hi back, and bye as well, because I'm wrapping it up right now. Please join me next week on Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and let's do it all over again, right? Okay, have a wonderful weekend.